Danny, I should have done. I should have been.
Do you know the
him.
secret for the laugh? Do you know how to do the laugh?
That's pretty bad. That's the first time I've ever even tried it.
That's pretty good.
That was the first time I've ever even tried it.
Try it one more time. Crank up the speed, maybe about 25%. Go. That's very good.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Pop Culture Planet, a video podcast centered around diverse voices and representation in Hollywood. I'm your host, Kristen Maldonado, a TV and film critic, content creator, and champion for inclusion. And today we are chatting with Frankie Grande and Hector Navarro, who are hosting a brand new SpongeBob binge-watching podcast called SpongeBob BingePants. I cannot wait to hear them recap every episode of the show and share some never-before-heard secrets about this iconic phenomenon that is SpongeBob SquarePants. I had so much fun chatting with these two, and I hope you enjoy the conversation. Frankie, I don't know if you'd remember me, but we've met a couple times at the Viacom offices, and I just wanted to say congratulations on your engagement.
Thank you so much, and it is so good to see you again. Yay, I'm so happy you're here.
2021 is the year, man.
Oh,
yes,
congratulations!
So,
now I feel proud.
we're thriving this year.
I gotta make some moves. I gotta talk to my girlfriend. I don't know.
How long have you guys been together?
Many years. So.
Okay, well then we are putting the pressure on him.
Thanks, Kristen and Frankie, for putting the pressure on me. Great,
You're
great.
welcome.
So sorry. But she is great, so I don't know. Think about it.
Thanks.
Yes. So let's dive into this. I'd love to hear how you guys got involved in the SpongeBob BingePants podcast and, what it means to you to join the growing Nickelodeon podcast family.
I was fortunate enough, to host a podcast for Nickelodeon a couple years ago, the Nickelodeon Animation Podcast, a kind of a more general show. I got to talk to so many amazing people, and it was a great kind of an interview one-off podcast show. And, those episodes are out there, and it was one of the best jobs I've ever had. Cut to years later, SpongeBob is getting its own podcast. Nickelodeon is putting it together. I was so lucky that they reached out. They're like, hey, would you want to come and audition for this? That's how I met Frankie, is that we auditioned together. And it was awesome. It was so much fun. And then I found out that it was going to be Frankie, and it was going to be me. And I was like, this is the best. So that's my kind of podcast history with SpongeBob. And it's just, this whole thing has been great. How did you get this gig, Frankie?
They asked.
Okay.
I said yes. It was so simple because, obviously I'm Nickelodeon family. I've been on Henry Danger and Danger Force. I was Boots the Monkey in Dora the Explorer Live as my first gig ever, which is my first professional job, which is so funny. I live in Nickelodeon. And so I've always loved SpongeBob. And I think when I'm at the Kids' Choice Awards or when I'm at the Thanksgiving Day Parade or whether I'm at Nickelodeon Studios in Orlando, Florida, I'm always looking for SpongeBob actively on my Instagram. I have many Instagram stories of me being like, where's SpongeBob? So I think the world knew I was a huge fan. And so when Nickelodeon called, it was like, hey, would you be interested in hosting a SpongeBob podcast? I was like, yes, of course, I'm in. Also, I have been looking for the right vehicle to do a podcast for a long time. It's definitely, people are like, you should do a podcast. You should do it, but where's your podcast, Frankie? Where's your podcast?
Very funny.
And it's just, I haven't all the pieces didn't fall together in place until this. And I am so grateful that Hector is my co-host because we are yin and yang. We completely balance each other out, and we have so much fun together. So I'm really excited for the audience to be able to start to hear us because we're really good together.
Yeah, we're just geeking out in our homes doing this podcast for a moment. It's I want other people to hear it too. Maybe they'll like it. I hope. I think so. Yeah.
Who's the bigger SpongeBob fan?
It's on par.
I would say that it's Frankie.
Okay.
Because Frankie's like, okay, I'll take it.
Okay, I'll take it.
Because Frankie is actually SpongeBob in real life. And he is this character personified, and he has taken with him throughout his life the spirit of SpongeBob, and it lives in his heart. And I have such a big place in my heart for SpongeBob.
What are you talking about?
It's amazing. It's amazing. And I love talking about the show and watching the show. And I have a perspective of, I studied animation in school.
He's a student.
I was an intern at Nickelodeon years ago, here at this studio, which is one of the best experiences of my life also. So I like to geek out about look at the way that this character is animated in this scene and look at the background here and then look at, this kind of thing. And then Frankie has this amazing perspective of like, this is the meaning, this is the message. Look at the joy that this brings. I remember this. This is where I was in my life. This is how it affected me. So I have to give the purity of the fan award to Frankie.
Also, when you're a student of something, you can't, it's harder to be considered a fan of it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, listen,
you study animation.
It's true. This is just work for me. Yeah, that's right. It's just studying this.
It's the best job ever.
Studying this cartoon show that's hilarious and hysterical. Like,
So I think we're both super fans, but I'll take it.
I love that Frankie, you're coming in with the fan perspective, and then Hector, you're coming in with like the like more technical animation perspective. That's so cool to have the two of you coming together. And now you said Frankie is like a SpongeBob at heart. So who are you? Who would you be?
I think I'm a little smarter than Patrick. I think I'm a little nicer than Squidward. I think I might be a Mrs. Puff, or maybe a Sandy Cheeks.
You're more of a Sandy.
You think I'm more of a Sandy? Because I like to study things, and I kind of do my own little deep dives, and she's so super smart and she's cool. And we've talked about this.
Very Sandy. You're very Sandy.
Sandy has that energy where like she can go to different places and kind of different social groups and get along. Yeah. You know, she can go to the Goo Lagoon and work out with everybody on the beach. Yes. And then she can hang out with SpongeBob.
See, you know what you're doing. Look, you can do that. You know exactly how to work out on the beach.
Exactly. That's how I work out.
You're a Sandy.
I go to the gym, I work out. I'm more like a Sandy Cheeks.
You really are, actually. Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Obviously, SpongeBob has been going strong since 1999. The beloved characters, the spinoffs, even a Broadway musical. So why do you guys think that SpongeBob is such a phenomenon?
Honestly, I think the same way that I relate to SpongeBob and Hector relates to Sandy. I think when you're watching that show, you can't help but relate to one of those characters or one of those. It's like it's the Sex and the City of cartoons. Yeah. You're always if you have three best friends, then there's always a Samantha, and Carrie, and you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so in your best friend group, there's always a SpongeBob and a Patrick and a Squidward and a Sandy and a Plankton. There always is. And so I think there's just those relatable dynamics that play out in that cartoon that makes everyone around the world in every language and every territory that this is shown, which is everywhere, say, wow, I relate to this. Yeah. And I'm having a great time watching it. That's why.
Those characters, those core characters, and that's the insane thing that we're like learning and relearning. From the very beginning, creator Steven Hillenburg, he had them just locked down. He had the vision, the characters and who they were, and they're so pure and so good, like Frankie's saying, that you can put them in literally infinity situations and they will be funny. And you can continue to tell stories with these characters because those main characters are just so perfect.
And speaking of perfect, that SpongeBob impression, Frankie. I mean, I'm ready to see you on Broadway as SpongeBob.
I'm ready. I should have been.
Do you know the secret for the laugh? Do you know how to do the laugh?
That's pretty good. That's the first time I've ever even tried it.
That's pretty good.
That was the first time I've ever even tried it.
Try it one more time. Crank up the speed, maybe about 25%. Go.
That's perfect. I love it. And I'd love to hear from you guys what it's like rewatching this show. Like, do you have any favorite SpongeBob episodes or moments that you like can't wait to talk about? Or I mean, I feel like everybody's got like all day you can quote SpongeBob. Like there's a moment, so do you have any favorite quotes or episodes or things like that?
I mean, I always go to, it's the best day ever. Like it's such an iconic episode. It is a song that obviously has permeated my being for many, many years, probably since I ever heard it the first time. And it's a philosophy that I try to take with me every day that I wake up and I'm not looking forward to what I'm going to do, which does not happen when I'm hosting this podcast or doing press about this podcast.
That's right. Today was the best day ever.
But it is something that I definitely relate to. So I think I'm excited to talk about that episode.
It is a blast to revisit a show that you loved as a kid. Yeah. But then as an adult, look at it and because we're laughing at different things. We're like, you know what? Yeah. I missed this when I was a kid. I didn't get this joke. Yeah. And now we can talk about that.
My best friend.
Yeah.
And rubber bath toys.
In the bath. So we're revisiting the stuff that just speaks to us at like a childlike level. We definitely talk about that. This is a family-friendly show. And then we also can step back and be like, we're adults, and like what they're doing here is super genius. What they're doing here is so brilliant. And here's why it's relatable. And here's why these emotions are still relatable. We can relate to Squidward's jealousy and his FOMO. We can relate to Mr. Krabs and his anxiety over money. All of these different things. So it's been that's what it's like to rewatch the show, is that we are adults now, but we're revisiting something we loved as a kid. So
well, thank you guys so much for your time, and
Congrats
I'm so excited about
again.
the podcast.
Congrats on the engagement.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. If you like this one, you can check out more Pop Culture Planet right over here or on your favorite podcast listening platforms. See ya.